Using Torpisc effectively. In this demo, I am going to go through the 3 methods of usage of Solitaire variants, and then I'm going to demonstrate to you how to encode and decode your messages by using Torpisc. Method 1 is the most secure way to send and receive messages, and it's all low-tech. The cost of using this method is obviously that it's very slow and laborsome. The second method involves the key generation and encoding and decoding by hand, but then you will need to use electronics to send and receive your messages. The third method would involve the use of electronics for all phases of communication. So for this method, you use Torpisc for the key generation and encoding or decoding of your messages, but then you will implant your ciphertext inside image files that you place on the internet. The recommended way to use Torpisc to secure your text messages for ultimate security is to use method 3 to encode your messages and method 2 to decode your messages. And then if you need to keep any third party from being able to keep track of who is texting whom, you will place your text messages inside image files. This would give you the same level of security as using method 1, but you will be able to use electronics for all phases of communication. As far as implanting your ciphertext inside an image file is concerned, I will demonstrate to you how to do that in the second part of this demo. Now I am going to show you how to use Torpisc to encode and decode your messages. The first thing that you need to do is to generate a password sheet that you would need to share with friends and associates. This sheet should be handwritten and copied so that the receiver and sender each have a copy of the password sheet. Make the password number a part of the image name that you like to hide your ciphertext into, so that the recipient knows who it is intended for and what password to use. And also make sure you use different password numbers for different people. So for this case, the password numbers that are used for John are different from the password numbers that are used for Brian. And if, for example, in this case, John is looking for messages from me on Facebook, he would browse through my images until he comes across profile1.jpg. And since this number 1 is on the list of tagged passwords, then he would know that there is potentially a hidden ciphertext inside of this image file that he can extract and decode. Brian or whoever will not know that profile1.jpg has a message for John in it because the password list that we share with each associate is private. You should also keep in mind that you can optionally use a memorized formula of your choosing that you can apply on the top of these passwords as an added layer of abstraction if you are worried that someone could discover this password sheet. Also make sure that after you use each password, the sender and receiver need to cut it from their password sheet and burn it up. The last thing to keep in mind is that each password can be used only once. So for example, I'm going to use this password for my example. What this says is that this is ace of clubs, and the card numbers are going to move up in ascending order until we get to Joker A and Joker B. So I'm going to create a ciphertext in this example for John, and then since I'm using tag 1, I'm going to call it profile1.jpg. I'm going to open up Torpisc and then go to Encrypt text. Since I'm using stealth mode for the current card arrangement, I'm going to first just set up a random set of cards. This is just for show, just in case somebody is recreating what you see on your monitor through emissions. Now that I am done with the passport setup, I need to do the real passport setup, which basically involves clicking on each card, and Torpisc is going to register it in memory, starting from the last card in the deck to the beginning, just like we did before. And this gives you the advantage of also doing mock clicks on some cards, so that if somebody is trying to recreate what you see on your monitor through emissions, they would not be able to make sense of what password you are using. And you should make sure that when you do this, you do enough mock clicks with respect to each real click, so that elimination techniques cannot narrow down the list of passwords that you could possibly be using. So now I'm going to start with Joker B. I'm going to click on it, and if you are worried that the click doesn't register, you can click more than once, because Torpisc will only register the first time that you click on a card. And then I'm going to do some mock clicks. Now we have to do Joker A. I'm not going to do mock clicks anymore because you get the idea. So just to be able to go through this tutorial faster, I'm just going to make the assumption that you know how to do mock clicks, just as I demonstrated at the beginning of the card setup. Then we move to diamonds, king, queen, soldier, 10. Now we move to clubs, starting with king, queen, soldier. Okay, now that I'm done with the arrangement of the cards in stealth mode, I need to start typing my message. The message that I'm going to type, I'm not going to tell you what it is right now, just to show you how you can hide your message in plain sight. Open the keypad, place it right in front of the input text box to make sure that nobody can figure out whether you are doing a mock click or a real click by looking at if they can recreate what you see on your monitor through emissions. Then you need to shuffle the deck. Okay, so now you can see my message here. What I'm going to do is to encode my message. And then my ciphertext is ready to be implanted into an image file. So I just do Control C on this ciphertext and then place it inside a text file before I start the process of implanting it into an image file. Here is the ciphertext. This is already done for you. Okay, thank you for watching this video.